Booktube, it's Louise, the Bighaired bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day wherever it is you are and whatever it is you're doing. Hello, hello. Welcome to Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. I'm here on a Friday. It's Friday Reads. Hello, how are you? Are you having a good day? And can I just say, after all the weeks and weeks and weeks of having a heat wave, we're not having a heat wave today. Woo! It's great. Gary is still keeping cool, because he's still worried about overheating. However, it's not boiling hot in here. I am, in fact, wearing trousers. Oh, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. I do normally wear something covering my the lower half of my body. I don't want you to think that I've been here nude. I have actually been here clothes, but I'm actually wearing trousers. It's very exciting. This morning I woke up and I thought, do you know what I want to wear today? Trousers. And I have. It's cool enough for it. I wasn't here last week because it was a big week in the Bighaired household. The teenager got their A-level results. So if you're not from the UK, you might be thinking, what are A-levels? A-levels are advanced level. So you do your GCSEs when you're 15, 16. And that's your General Certificate of Secondary Education. And that basically allows you to get on to do further study or go on into work. I think you actually have to remain in full-time education up to 18 now. I think that's the law of the land. So the teenagers moved and went to a sixth form college and did A-levels. And then we got the results last week. It was a very tense beginning of the week, nervy Wednesday, where we all felt a bit nauseous, and then they waited anxiously for the email. The husband and I were reminiscing about how we remembered waiting for the post to get our A-level results, for the postman to turn up. But no, it was an email. It was all very tense. Now, the outcome is excellent. They didn't get their first choice university. They got the second choice university. However, they had decided at that point that we needed to pivot because they didn't want to go to their second choice university. So with some nimble ninja-like action, within an hour and a half, they were going to their first choice university and they were doing a course adjacent. So we're all thrilled with this now. It's the place they want to go to, and yeah, all good things happened. There have also been other, because it wasn't an automatic thing. It meant things like accommodation and all of that. We had to kind of pivot with that as well, but it's all worked out really well. We're looking forward to it. And now it has really sunk in that the teenager will be moving out. I mean, obviously temporary, just for term time, but they will be moving out in 3 weeks' time. How can that be? So all this year I have been thinking about this happening, and now it's really beginning to sink in, because we're looking at kind of writing lists of what they're going to take. But however, that's not what you're here for. You're here for books, and you've had the weather update. You're here for books. Gary's here. Gary's my right hand man. Keeps me steady, don't you, Gary? So I'm not actually going to show you what I've been reading and listening to over the last couple of weeks, because there has been some things, but not masses. So I will do that as a August wrap up next Friday. Exciting times. That'll be something to put in your diary. Oh yeah, as I never do monthly wrap ups, but I will do an August wrap up and tell you what I've read and listened to over the month of August next week. So I'll show you what I've been. There are some new to me books that have joined the Bighaired household, and I finished a couple of jigsaws. I just thought I'd show you those because they are, of course, Agatha themed. I am loving hearing about all of the book themed jigsaws that are out there. And has this become a new collector's obsession of mine? Yes. Have my Vinted, which is a second-hand marketplace website, that has got new searches now. I'm all about the book themed jigsaws. Maybe one or two coming towards me, because new, they're like 18, 20 pounds, which when you only do it was, I mean, obviously I don't begrudge them because they're beautiful. Looking at one right here. I'm not great about redoing them, but they're so lovely, and having the theme of the book and thinking about that, I do really like that. So so jigsaws per se, I'm not totally, I don't do it very often, but these book themed ones, they're beginning to become my new thing. However, so I did get this one. Yeah. So I got this one new. And it's, and then there were none, the World of Agatha Christie novels. It's a different artist than the other Agatha Christie adjacent or Agatha Christie book adjacent items that I have, but it is still really amazing, and I'm hoping that you get to see a good look at that. So I love that. I did take a picture of when I completed it, so I'm hoping that I can put that up. If not, maybe I may have already deleted it. If so, I did complete that one. That took me a couple of days. I thought to begin with that the red might be there might be too much red, but no, it was lovely. Really enjoyed that one. So much so that this week I actually reached and found this was the first Agatha Christie themed jigsaw that I got. And this is the artist that I normally associate with the collectibles that I have. So yeah, so the Hercule Poirot one, and hopefully you can see the back. The first time I did this, I remember enjoying it but not loving it, and I think it's the colours. I think I didn't love the colours so much. However, this time I enjoyed it a lot more. So either it's because I am more into jigsaws, I'm better at doing them, because there is a knack, isn't there? You find your own way, but there is a knack. So yeah, and I love the fact people have been telling me what jigsaws they like doing, and obviously are enabling me by telling me things like the World of Dracula. Oh, that jigsaw. Yeah, I still am. I'm still not the proud owner of the marple jigsaw, but hopefully shortly that will come into my life. So yes, I'm really liking my jigsaws. Yeah, that's good. What other things? So the husband went to spend a night in the Big Smoke. Went up to London to see a chum who was over all the way from Canada. So they went in, stayed in a Airbnb in Covent Garden. I wasn't able to go due to joint issues. It would have been way too much for me. So they went up there, and they bought me a couple of books. Because I wasn't able to go, and they knew that I would need something. So yeah, so I'm blown away by these. Actually, they're really fabulous. So I have been enjoying. There's a bit of a theme. There's a bit of a reason behind this particular one, which is called Islamic Design, and they're by Wooden Books. There's a whole series of these. This is by Daud Sutton. It looks like David, but it's actually Daud Sutton. Islamic Design. I have been really enjoying kind of getting into kind of like Zentangle doodling and all the different kind of doodles that you can do. I've always wanted to get better at drawing because I'm particularly bad at it, but I enjoy it so much. And I've shown you the fact that I've got I've bought how to sketch trees and how to sketch plants and flowers, and it's just so enjoyable. And the husband knows that I've been enjoying creating rhythmical designs using the Zentangle doodles. So he bought me this book because it's all about, you know, how the Islamic design of all the mosaics are created and the kind of principles behind them. And they're so intricate and clever and stunning to look at. Look at that. But there's true meaning behind the designs, which I'm finding it fascinating. I'm actually going through. I thought I'd go through it quite quickly, but they're so intricate and there's so much that you can kind of see in the designs and how, you know, what the principles are. It's not just rhythmic patterns. It's all about unity and perfection and symmetry. It's just, they're amazing. So yes, it's a very, very small book, very small, very thin book, but fascinating. And I'm loving dipping into that and beginning to learn about it, because I can imagine that's a subject that would take many, many years to even scratch the surface. But I'm enjoying my first foray into that. And then he bought me that. Look at that. The Herbal Alchemist's Handbook, a complete guide to magic herbs and how to use them, by Karen Harrison. I have quite a few herbology, herbal almanacs and recipe books, and how to use them not only for health purposes, but for if you wanted to be more creative and use them in a spiritual sense. So this is to go into my library for that. It's an absolute classic. I had heard of it. It's actually very usable. Some of them were quite dense, the herbology books, the herb books that I've got, the herb dictionaries, etc. Some of them, like cold pepper, are not easy to read and use. This is a lot more usable. I've got a couple of kitchen witch or green witch books, so that goes alongside those. So yeah, superb. Really, really pleased. And look at that. That's the kind of, wouldn't that be lovely to have a go at drawing? You know, it just pleases the eye, doesn't it? Pleases the eye, that does. So yeah, so enjoying those. So we're both so excited. I'm so excited to get them, and I'm really pleased with those. Talking about spy books, I have read, recently been reading spy books by Daniel Silver. Got one there, that's why I looked there. And a few people said, if you like spy books, why are you not, have you read any Helen MacInnes? And I was like, no, tell me more. So I found on my Kindle Unlimited that there were quite a few on there, and I've started reading one called The Venetian Affair, and I don't know whether that was a good place to start. It hasn't absolutely caught me, I will admit, and I've been distracted and gone on to another book. However, I thought I would like to give Helen MacInnes more of a go. My Kindle Unlimited subscription was a free trial, so it finishes in 3 weeks, I think, and I am undecided whether to continue with it and stop my Readly subscription. I think that's what I might do, because I think I'm reading more Kindle Unlimited than I am reading magazines on the Readly. So I can't really do both subscriptions. So there's no point doing both subscriptions, because I wouldn't get value for money out of it. You know, I always feel like you have to. I'm sure everybody feels a bit like this. You need to feel that you're getting your value for money. You need to feel that you're getting the benefit. And at the moment, I'm kind of between the two subscriptions, but that's okay, because Kindle Unlimited is at the moment a free trial. If I was to be paying for both, I'd feel well twitchy. So I might cancel the Readly and actually keep the Kindle Unlimited. However, I have so many physical books that I want to read. I'm like that. I don't know. Stay tuned, folks. That's a cliffhanger right there. Rubbish, but never mind. The best you're going to get. So I did then turn to my new favourite app, Vinted, and see whether there was any Helen MacInnes book there. Yes! And I got a book bundle. So these were both on for £1. And the fact that I could put it together as a bundle with another book from the same seller meant I only had to pay post and packaging for one. How good is that? That's so good. So I got these 2 books for under £5, which feels like, and it's going to an actual person. The money is going to a person that will feel the benefit of it. So I like doing that. So yeah, so I got these 2. So I got Snare of the Hunter. Look at that. Apologies if you don't like spiders. I like a spider. That's a spy novel. And I'm not going to read you what they're about. And then this is Above Suspicion. Thinking Nazi with that one. Is it a Nazi one? Yes. Set in 1939. Starts casual in Oxford, becomes intriguing in Germany and highly exciting in Austria, Tyrol and Italy. Notably well written, the Daily Telegraph said. More class than most adventure writers accumulate in a lifetime. That's the Chicago Daily News. Whew. Alistair MacLean, author of Guns of Natherone and Where Eagles Dare. Now that's good pedigree in the old spy world. Helen MacInnes is totally original. No one writing today creates more realistic, more credible characters than she does. Now Helen MacInnes is no longer with us as a writer. But lordy, look at that. That's a good backlist. So if I get into the lady, it sounds like a cracking one. When did this one come out? Above Suspicion. Confused me at first because it says this one came out in 2020, but I think that's when Titan Books got it. 1941 this was written, so it was very much of its time. So that will be interesting. I do like books written at that time. This one was written, this was a bit later, 1974. So that'll be Cold War stuff. Oh, I love me a Cold War spy thriller. Yeah. So those 2 are right up my alley, as some people might say. Matron. Yeah. So I was very pleased with that. So I shall report back. So they're going firmly on my to be read pile, which is kind of half a house big. And then the last one I'm going to show you was inspired by the first jigsaw I showed you, And Then There Were None. I thought to myself, I haven't actually got a copy of it, And Then There Were None. Now, I originally had the Fontana edition, which was under a different name, which was under the original name, which now features a very unwelcome and unpleasant slur. So I made the decision last year to get rid of the book. And I put it in the bin. I put it in the recycling bin because I could have sold it, and they do actually sell for quite a lot of money. But I decided I didn't think it needed to be. There was something about that word. I thought, no, we're not doing that. So we're moving on from that. Then it became known as 10 Little Indians, and I actually think 10 Little Indians goes with a nursery rhyme. So, but I still didn't love it. So nowadays, it's called And Then There Were None. Now, I think it's a bit of a shame that it's called And Then There Were None, because I think it gives away a bit of a plot point, but that's the way everybody knows about it now. And if you're going to get a book, not new, I got it from Vinted, it's called And Then There Were None. So I got this one, which is an American edition. So this is an imprint of, it is still HarperCollins, but this is William Morrow, but this is an American edition, and it's, flippy floppy. It's a flippy floppy American edition. So it came all the way from America. Still bought it on Vinted, but it was from an American seller, and it got sent all the way from America. And I was so, when I actually picked it up, I went to the nearby petrol station, and they got the in-post lockers there, and I opened up my little my little oh, my phone's bleeping. What's anything? No, that's fine. Use my kind of QR code, and it popped open, and I opened up, and this book that had come all the way from America, and I just thought there's something still so exciting about that to me. That somebody in America, received some of my pennies and packaged it up and sent it, and it came all the way very quickly as well from America. And then I go to the local petrol station and QR code, and it took under 50 seconds for me to receive it. I was like, wow, this to me feels like some form of magic. So yeah, it was out, share that kind of little wondrous moment, and it's kind of hovered around this book, that feeling. I think every time I look at it, I imagine a person in America going, oh, lovely, I've got a sale, and sending me this book. So there we go. So this is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So this is this my latest Agatha Christie that I've received? No, but I shall do an Agatha Christie editions that I have got collected, and I shall do a roundup of those in another video. But yeah, so this is it. So this is her standalone mystery. Doesn't feature any of her detectives that she normally features, like Hercule Poirot or Miss Marple, or it's not got Sergeant Battle in. It's a most brilliant mystery, which if you haven't read, highly recommend. So I haven't read it with that as for a long time, and actually because this is a newish book, feels very unread. When was this edition printed? Tell me. It was originally published 1939, but this edition, they don't actually say. Well, it feels very recent. I'm quite happy to read it. A lot of my older editions I don't read physically anymore because the glue is beginning to perish and they come apart. So, and I don't want that. So I'm quite happy. So this is going on my to be read pile as well, because I'm going to give this one a read because I haven't read it in so long. I need to read it with that eyes. So yeah, there we go. So there's some real good stuff that's come in to the Bighaired household in the last couple of weeks, and I've enjoyed a couple of jigsaws. So all's very good, and we've had excellent A-level results. I'm so thrilled for the teenager. They did so well. It's looking, what their future is going to hold. Who knows? Is it the right course? You never know. Let's be honest. You never know when you're going off. They're 18. There will be many twists and turns in their future. The most wonderful thing is they had a really good experience doing their A-levels. GCSEs, not so much. A-levels, they had a really good experience. They've come away with cracking A-level results. They were asked to get the toppest of results, and so it would have been a heck of a stretch for them to get that. But they did so well, and they've gone on to a brilliant course that they're going to enjoy at a place they want to go, and they're looking forward to it with such excitement and sense of adventure. That's all I could ask for at the moment. So yeah, it's all looking good. The mum's heart is obviously going through it quite a bit, but yeah. So yeah, anyway, I'll be back next week with a lovely August roundup. How cool will that be? Yeah. So here we are. This is the obligatory picture of jigsaws and excellent books. And yeah, this has been lovely, Booktube. Let's do this again. Bye.